everyone, and welcome to the
144th
episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as YouTube legend BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and newfound profession being mattress salesman, Frederick.
Oh, very good.
Frederick the mattress salesman. How are we doing this morning?
Doing very well. Just sold some mattresses and I'm ready to pod.
Yeah, it's I don't know if any further explanation is needed. It's just kind of your thing.
No, I mean, I had some mattresses. They're gone now. Sold.
And you have money.
I'm now sitting in a different crib. I'm in my girlfriend's place, currently recording a pod the day of going to Spain, but a few hours before.
Let's go.
And I mean, I guess, yeah, I'll reveal. Your boy finally got a new flat for next year.
Let's go.
It's a good time. Yeah, I got confirmation 2 days ago, like in the morning, Monday morning, and I was like, because they told us we would get it either Tuesday morning or like late Monday evening. So I woke up, I was like a little nervous. I was like, because this is the day that it decides it. And before I even woke up, they already sent the confirmation, and it was a good time.
You best believe it. So you now can use that hard-earned mattress money to live in a new, delightful place.
To live in a new estate.
Brilliant. Well, today the summer pre-recorded pods continue. It's May 25th today, but we're putting out this pod because we gotta have a cheeky bit of podding every single week. I also do apologize for my voice and sort of general demeanor. I am just a little bit of a tired boy. It is a little bit of a morning pod. Not really. I mean, it's 11:30 a.m., but it is vacation time.
You did wake up early. It should be said. You were up at 9:30.
Well, that's also kind of that's not very early, I would argue, but anyway,
I mean,
it is what it is. Sorry.
I mean, I wake up at 6 every morning and do a marathon, but no big deal.
But yeah, so hopefully I will wake up throughout this pod because we got a bangingly exciting pod for you today. We are doing, in fact, a little pre-recorded our favorite TV shows of all time.
Ooh. Is it just our favorite, or are we also doing our least favorite?
Well, you know me, I'm a marketing guru, so I did think our least favorite could be a entirely separate episode. So
you absolute marketing god!
That's what I do. There's a reason I've made them fat YouTube stacks. So
there's a reason he gets paid the big bucks.
There's a reason I get a sponsorship once every 6 months or so. So
cries out for a desperate sponsorship deal.
So yeah, we're just gonna go through, I guess, a bunch of television programs that we like and talk about them, and then talk about a Tom Cruise fact, and then say goodbye. So it should be a fun 30 to 60 minutes coming up.
Say goodbye.
And then we would say sayonara forever. I guess we just jump into it. Maybe
I will preface it by saying that I'm sitting shirtless and I'm sweating profusely. My armpits, an entire side, dripped in sweat. I don't know why. But it creates a good podding atmosphere.
That's not what I was expecting. I thought you were going to say, can I just say also, I recently watched this television show, but instead you come out with a very disturbingly, painted picture.
A gross body fact.
And I appreciate it, because it is a podding environment, because, I mean, little peek behind the scenes, we do often sweat profusely when we make these. I wish I was joking.
We do. But for some reason, I'm sweating like an absolute mad dog right now. I don't know why. Huh. I'm crying from my armpits. Sorry, this is getting gross. Let's go on.
A little bit. But, I appreciate it's kind of like a 4D effect for the viewers. You're painting a smell-o-vision idea for them of what you're
and I'll soon rub my armpit on the microphone. They can feel it.
Ah, perfect. Well, it's off to an excellent start. Anyway, favorite television shows. I'm going to start us off with a bit of a cliche one, but one that has to be acknowledged, and it can lead into one that is very topical. But I'm going to start off with...
I know exactly what you're going to talk about now.
Oh, really? Because I was going to start off
with
Hawkeye Season 1. So get fucked. Don't ever think you're a step ahead of me. Don't you dare.
Never let them know your next move.
You sweaty, sweaty bitch. No, I am going to be starting off with Breaking Bad. can then
Dalgard, the sweaty bitch.
can then move into a little Better Call Saul. But Breaking Bad is I find it really weird for such a, like, I don't know, intensely, and at times extremely dark show. But I weirdly have, like, nostalgia for it because I did watch it, like, I don't know, when I was,
we were
like 14, 15.
Yeah, 14, 15, maybe even a bit earlier.
Actually, yeah, like 13 to 15 is when I watched it.
Actually, I was 7 years old when I watched it.
I was actually in the womb watching Walter hit that guy with his car. Great scene.
That is a good scene. Two guys, actually, but go on.
Fuck. Okay, I need to get back on my Breaking Bad.
Restart the pod.
But, okay, wipe the sweat, and we go again. You do that whole sweat thing again, though. The viewers need to know it. But yeah, it's an excellent show, and the thing is, I don't know, it's impressive for the show, not for me necessarily. I realize how this would sound, that, like, we were able to like it when we were that age, even though we didn't really get most of it. It's really impressive for us as, like, child prodigy.
I was actually
geniuses.
such an advanced child that I understood meth at 13.
But, like, obviously we didn't really understand, like, all of it, and now rewatching, I haven't rewatched it in full, but rewatching it on occasion as I've grown up, there's so many more layers to it, and I don't know, it's a fantastic show on, like, an entertainment level. Like, it's extremely well made and clever and excellently put together, and then it's also extremely entertaining, because sometimes you can watch a show or a movie and you'd be like, that's really brilliantly done, and, like, you can appreciate how well done it is, but you're like, it's not something you would rewatch,
You are a little bit bored throughout it, maybe.
Yeah.
But this one,
but
you're just not. It's
yeah.
constant action, like the mix of brilliant acting, like awesome. I mean, I don't want to say fight scenes, but, like, drama that ensues, and some of the, like, really grotesque things that happen. While also there's, like, some euphoric highs, and then there's some, like, oh my freaking god, that's despicable moments as well. So it's got everything.
Yeah, it is very like, yeah, I wouldn't call it an action show, but it does.
No.
Everything, all the action that comes from it is, like, and the drama's exciting, and sort of it doesn't need, there are some crazy gunfights and guys with axes and whatever, but, like, it doesn't need that to be exciting, like, the drama and the like, excitement and all that. I was also gonna say,
I'll also say that when there is the occasional action scene, like, or, like, hyped up scene, like the train heist and stuff like that, it makes it all the more exciting, I think, because, like, you're in this world where, like, everything's very dramatic and tense and everything, but, like, yeah, as you say, there's not, like, constant action. So when, like, in this, like, tense atmosphere that the show builds, that there's also, like, some like the train heist is just insane. Like, you're sitting there, like, just at the edge of your seat the entire time.
Yeah, it's because it builds up that, like, relatively realistic world, I guess, when something, except for when, like, two planes crash and a teddy bear falls in Walter White's pool or whatever. That wasn't great. But, like, besides that, generally pretty realistic.
I don't know. I fucking loved it.
I also think it's, a brilliant character progression for multiple characters. Like, obviously the main one is Walt, and, like, you see his descent into basically, like, evil, but then you also have, like, how Jesse progresses, how Hank progresses, all the, like, it's subtle-ish. I don't know if subtle's the right word, but it progresses very naturally. So, like, you can see where he is at the start of season 1 and the end of season 5, and, like, they're completely different, but it's such a natural progression over 5 seasons, and it's handled so well, and with such, like, I don't know, it's so, yeah, not that these are any new thought, like, everyone knows, Breaking Bad is good, but, like, it's handled so cleverly and excellently, and it's emotional. It has some of the most devastating moments I've ever seen when, spoiler alert, it's been a while since I watched it, but when Jesse's girlfriend in season 5 gets shot by the Nazis, like, that's one of, and, like, you see his reaction. That is one of, like, the hardest to watch scenes, I think, in, like, any show I've ever seen.
Yeah, show or movie, honestly.
Yeah. And an extremely satisfying ending, which is really hard to pull off for a TV I mean, I can't really think of another TV show that had so much hype, and then, like pulling off that ending is so difficult to do. And we've seen it with, like, Game of Thrones and Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard Lost kind of has a bad ending, and How I Met Your Mother even has apparently a bad ending.
Lost does have a very strange ending.
And like, yeah, it's funny also at the start of season 5, you know how he opens the trunk and there's a gun in there. They actually like filmed that before they even knew what they were going to do with the ending. So they just like put that in there. They were like, we'll figure something out, and they figured something out. You know, that's really a like satisfying, crazy conclusion. Also, I love Hank Schrader, big fan.
Also, big fan of the Hank Man.
I don't know if there's much else to say. Just I think I'm gonna rewatch it soon because Better Call Saul is wrapping up, and I'm also thinking a little cheeky BHL early scoop here. Perhaps the next chronology video could be Breaking Bad in chronological order, because we then have Better Call Saul, we have El Camino. There's a lot of storylines there. It's a good one for it. I'm just saying. So
that would be a good one. I would watch personally.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe in like 2025 that'll probably come out. But yeah, exciting stuff.
Around 2042.
Do you have one you'd like to address to the nation?
Yes, I do. On a similar level of drama and just action and everything, New Girl. A brilliant show.
On a similar level of bloodshed and people melted in bathtubs, New Girl. You know what? New Girl does have that bathtub episode where it melts through the ceiling, very similar to Breaking Bad. So, perfect connection.
Same universe. There is also that one scene in New Girl where Winston's girlfriend is shot before his eyes.
Yeah, there's that one scene in New Girl where Schmidt poisons a child. So, that's
there's also that one scene in New Girl where where Jess thinks she gets high on meth created
by Walter White,
by Hank.
By Gustavo Fring. It's all connected. We've done it.
We have. But yeah, New Girl.
What have we really done?
What a show.
What have we done?
What? Sitting there truly proud of ourselves. We really have done it this time.
New Girl, yeah.
I think I speak for the both of us when we say, God, what a show. That has not just, like, obviously, I'd say Breaking Bad is probably, obviously, much more well-made and a better show. But I think, of all shows, maybe, with the exception of The Office for you, probably the show that's impacted our lives the most.
Yeah, maybe also.
At least,
more now than The Office for me.
More than The Office for you.
At this point, maybe. I mean,
God damn. Well, I love it. Well, honestly, like, the amount of stupid references and just hours we've spent just been like, oh, you know, we've had a little chill podcast session. We order a pizza. What do you want to watch? Let's put on a New Girl episode. And we just sit and fucking quote the entire thing. I mean, yeah. We've done an entire New Girl episode on the pod, so like everyone already knows. But goddamn, what a show!
Yeah, it is. It's like it's the ultimate comfort show of like literally. I mean, I will just be sitting here like after I've done a bunch of work or I've just done a workout or something, or like I want to break from something. I'm just like, I just throw a New Girl. Like I've seen every episode at least 7 or 8 times, and it's just like it never gets old. The character interactions are so funny. It's like sharp and wholesome and just so easy and fun to watch. And also, it's it's kind of funny because my girlfriend of the past, little while, she also
she's gonna become some mythical creature.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation I'm out of. Anyway, she had the exact same, if not, dare I say, even more so vibe with New Girl that we do. Where, like, literally, it's just like, no matter what, it's just like, just throw it on. Like, oh, we're eating dinner. Literally, like, falling asleep, just put on New Girl, And it's like, it's, honestly, that was, I don't want to say the linchpin of our relationship, but it was definitely, like, I mean.
But without that, I would never have talked to her.
But it was definitely, like, a convenient thing where we both have the exact same, probably really weird, unhealthy relationship to a TV show where it's just like, I just throw it on, always, like, whenever, why not? And yeah, it's just so. It's such a cozy show, you know what I mean? It's so...
It is.
Comfy and, like, fun and just ultimate good vibes.
It is such good vibes. And all the... Like, there's not... Apart from, like, obviously even, like, minor characters, but of all the main characters, there's not a single one that I, even in the slightest bit, don't like.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Like, the only one would be Jess. But that's, again, part of her character where she has to be like, the annoying, googly person.
And you still love Jess, Yeah,
you do.
It's like a family. It's like I I don't know. It's also just wholesome, especially if you're in like you can watch it when you're like super happy. You can watch it in kind of rough times, and if you're watching it when you're sort of like a bit down or something, it just feels like hanging out in a fun vibe. You know what I mean?
It is a fun vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we've talked about this before, but right now, gun to your head, favorite character.
It used to be Schmidt, but I have to say Nick Miller. Maybe I'm just becoming like a more of a lazy pig person, but like Nick Miller,
unbelievable pig person.
I have a lot of moments where I'm like, Nick Miller, you make me feel good about myself. So I don't know. I think I might go Nick Miller. He also just has such quotable moments as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go Nick.
He does. Damn, he going Nick.
You going Winston still?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll go Winston, but
you going Funston? We have a like Pranklum.
What did you say?
It's okay. I said Funston. We have a Pranklum. It's a Coach quote, and I'm proud I knew it. I was like, Coach. Coach is so good. Yeah.
Coach is so good. Coach less good than the main three, but still very delightful.
But still, it's like he's like a fun cousin who just kind of shows up sometimes. You know.
He's a funkle.
He's a funkle, as we've discussed or will discuss. I don't know what episode these are coming out order in, but yeah, he's definitely a funkle.
You've been labeled funkle.
But yeah, and we have a whole episode if you want to check that out as well.
Shameless plug.
Also, we should definitely do a Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad episode sometime. But speaking of Better Call Saul, which I just happened to bring up, I will also put that in there, as we will have in the past, although in the future for us, big time travel, have talked about this specific episode that just came out yesterday, in like a mini review, so I won't go too much into it here, but I'll just say the mid-season finale for the final season of Better Call Saul, one of the best and craziest episodes of TV I've ever seen, and it has one of the most shocking moments, like, in a show I've ever seen. It was like, but like shocking in a way that worked. Like, it wasn't like, oh, that's so weird. Like, it's like, it worked, but it was fucking insane. So anyway, we will have talked about that more. But Better Call Saul, for me, in a different way, I think might be just as good as Breaking Bad, honestly. And it's
as good.
Might be one of my favorite shows ever. Like, I put out a thing where I was like, it's the best show I've ever seen. Maybe that was a little bit heat of the moment. But like, yeah, the only problem is that like, it's not even a problem. It just like, difference between Breaking Bad. It starts a little bit slow. It's a little bit harder to get into because there's a lot of lawyer stuff and like family, you're slipping Jimmy and all this stuff. And it's a little bit harder to get into, but once you do, it is
you're slipping Jimmy.
But it is so rewarding, and it is such like, I think it probably has better like character writing than Breaking Bad. It probably has less like excitement than Breaking Bad, but it's like
less action scenes, you mean? Or
yeah, but it still does, especially as it goes. It builds a lot on the cartel stuff, and Gus Fring comes in, and it's all, and Mike and all this shit, and it's like, it's these separate storylines that occasionally cross over in like the craziest way, and it's just so compelling. And the cinematography is probably the best I've ever seen in any show. Like, it's fantastically shot, and every scene is like really interesting to watch. I would just say, yeah, Better Call Saul, probably up there with Breaking Bad as like my number one. Damn. If I had to say. I
really do want to get into it, because it seems like, as you say, it seems like a little bit of a slow burner in the beginning from what like everyone says, but like I do want to get into it.
And then it
just
sounds so good. Picks up, and it's like a fuse in a Mission Impossible movie. Also, even Yassine got back into it. Come on. What more evidence
and
do you
he's
need?
The most inconsistent motherfucker in the planet. Random question. I know you've just been very analytical talking about the cinematography, but is Trevor from GTA in it?
What?
Isn't the guy with the mustache who plays Trevor in GTA also a character in that?
Who plays Trevor in GTA? Stephen O. Oh,
is that the same dude?
He is for like one episode, maybe.
Oh, okay.
For like one scene.
That one scene.
He's literally in it for one scene.
I just seen that one scene where Mike like takes a Desert Eagle from him and punches him in the throat.
He's there. He's a one scene character.
Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. I thought he was a bigger character.
No,
that's my bad.
That's okay. Also, you're speaking of kind of mustachioed dudes, you're gonna love if you watch it. I mean, love and hate. He's terrifying, but Lalo Salamanca, the villain in the later seasons, incredible.
You told me
villain.
He is an excellent villain.
Yeah, I also saw a poll. Like, this is how like terrifying he is and all the shit he's done. There was a poll that was like, would Jesse and Walt have succeeded in Breaking Bad if Lalo Salamanca was there? And like it was like 50% no, 50% yes. Like it's like he is yeah, he's fucking amazing. But Better Call Saul doesn't feature Trevor from GTA, I'm sorry to say, but still pretty good considering that fact.
Still I should watch, you say.
Yeah. Also, by the way, when I say like favorite show, there are different kinds of favorite shows. Like obviously comparing this, like overall, probably New Girl just as like a product overall I like more, but like in terms of a drama and that kind of thing, it's like apples and oranges.
Different vibes, different scenarios, different moods, but
oranges. Yeah. I'm fucking struggling.
This isn't our favorite show episode. It's our favorite shows. Please.
Let's go.
All right. I will continue and say, let's see here. I will say, also including some bits, but excluding the last 2 seasons, Game of Thrones has to be up there.
Yeah, we are. We are hitting a couple of the cliche ones, but there's a reason they're cliche.
We are.
They're good.
Because they're just good. Yeah, and I've never... Yeah, the fact that Game of Thrones was probably the most hyped show ever, almost, like in the seasons leading up to it, or as like season 1 through 6, and also up to 7. And then after season 8, it just fell off a cliff and no one ever mentions it again.
That is funny. The one bad season has made it so its whole legacy is like fucked.
Genuinely, the entire legacy of it has just been completely depleted. But we can't only look at that. The show is amazing.
The show was amazing for a while.
Yeah, like I'd say 1 through 6, amazing. 7, some real highs and some real lows. And then again, season 8 again pulled off some amazing like action scenes and stuff like that. But the plot was just kind of crapped the bed.
Yeah. Yeah,
but let's focus on the positives.
Yeah, and also I would just say season 8, even though it's definitely the worst of them, it's still not a bad season. Like it has like some great, it has like dumb moments in it, of course, and like overall is pretty, isn't great, but like it definitely has some good stuff.
I think for like any other show, it would have been a good season, but because the consistency had been, and like the consistency of the quality had been so high throughout most of the seasons, then this was just like, It was very noticeable, I'd say.
Yeah. But seasons 1 through 3, or seasons 1 through, I'd say 6, actually.
Yeah, 1 through 6.
Peak TV.
Peak TV. The characters, like, and the way the characters are built up throughout season 1, also 1 through 7, I'd say, so good. And then, season 8 just completely takes it away. Like, the whole Jon being the heir and Daenerys' whole journey, and she just freaking goes berserk at the end.
Yeah. I mean, also, I've personally always found the ice zombie stuff the least interesting part of Game of Thrones. So when that was the focus of last season, that was also a little bit of like, okay, this is not as, unique and interesting as like all the crazy medieval style like feuds and shit. But up until then, I mean, talk about character writing and like world building, effects, action, drama that like it. At times, especially towards the start, before you're really into it, it can definitely be confusing with like, okay, whose family is with what? But once you get like really into it, it's like crazy the twists and turns and the betrayals and how these characters interact and a lot of fun characters along the way as well. What's his name from Wonder Woman 2? Pedro Pascal. Bit of a nutter.
From Wonder Woman 2.
Sorry. From his other best role, Kingsman 2.
The best role. I believe you meant to say the unbearable weight of amazing talent or whatever.
True, yeah. I actually really want to see that, to be fair.
Me too. It looks very, very good.
But
he's also in Narcos, I believe.
He is.
Anyways, let's not talk about the famous cinema life of Pedro Pascal.
Who are we saying favorite character from Game of Thrones?
Ooh.
Obviously Dickon.
I think Dickon. Can we say top 3?
Sure.
Or is that asking too much?
You can. I'll allow it.
Okay. I mean, Tyrion has to be up there, along with I'd also say Bronn.
Yeah.
And
we like the nutty ones. I'd say Arya has a really good arc as well.
She's got a very good Archaea.
Actually, I'd go with Bronn. Never mind. Arya's off my...
Actually, Bran. I love Bran.
God, Bran, the shittest character, no offense.
Bran the shitlord. Goddamn, what a terrible boy.
And he ends up winning in the end. He literally becomes the shit lord of the kingdom. Who's the other nutty one? There's another nutter. I mean, okay, he's not really a nut.
Oh, Tormund?
Well, he's not really a nutter, but Jaime Lannister, objectively, terrible human being. But
he's not really a nutter. More like a sister coitus haver.
Yeah, okay. Does he kill a kid at some point or something? Not good guy.
He pushes Bran out of a tower.
Yeah, obviously terrible guy.
So amazing dude.
But a show where everyone pretty much is terrible in some way. I mean, it might also just be because he's Nikolai Coster-Waldau and we do support our Danish king. But
we do. I love the switch we do between just speaking normal English and then Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Yeah. So we're a big fan of Mads Mikkelsen, but yeah, he's a very well portrayed character. How would I put it like that? That's a less controversial way of putting that.
Very, very well put. I will say another amazing Danish actor, Frank Hvam, is in it. Is
he the pirate man?
No, that's Pilo Asbæk.
Oh.
Frank Hvam is there for one scene, similar to Trevor Slattery, as the bookkeeper in like the Iron Bank of Bravos,
yes.
I think.
I vaguely, yeah.
He says one line, "This is irregular."
It's a very Danish line to say. Just kind of slight confusion.
Slight confusion.
I would say also another great Danish actor makes a one-scene cameo is Ed Sheeran. Very good times.
God, that was weird. That was strange.
Very weird. Why? Why would you do that?
Why?
That was when the show went downhill after that moment. But yeah,
after that moment, yeah.
Like sweeping action scenes as well, like crazy, especially as it goes, crazy effects, and even in season 1, like the world building. It's. There's a reason it was so popular.
Yeah, I will say probably the best action ever.
Yeah, I think that Battle
in a TV show.
Bastards or Battle of the Brothers, what was it?
Which one?
Well, the season 6 one where he like
Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah, that's great. And also something the show does better than maybe any other show I've ever seen. Hateable characters. Joffrey.
There's some truly hateable ones.
The fucking the horrible, the really bad one. What's his name? The guy who cuts the guy's dick off. Ramsay Bolton. Yeah, some of the most like despicable characters ever portrayed in film and TV. Yeah. Let's see. What should I go? Okay, we have a few obvious ones that like we might get to. I'm going to try to spice it up a little bit before we get to some more that like people probably predict from us. I'm going to say actually no, I'm not. I was going to say Westworld, but that's not. I mean,
keep in mind these are favorite shows.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at I'm trying to think of like shows that like I have things to say about, and Westworld is not one of my favorites, so let's not go with that. Okay, favorite. I mean, okay, I won't talk about too much because we've talked about it a lot before, but BoJack Horseman definitely would be up there.
So strange.
It's definitely top 3 maybe in terms of. I don't know. It's such an impressive show in my opinion. Like to the way it balances comedy and like deeply disturbing themes and that kind of stuff. And, like,
remind me, what is like the you say it balances and deals with a lot of like deep and I mean not disturbing, but like deep themes. How does it do that? Because it seems like a horse walking around in a suit called Bojack wouldn't be the best candidate to do such things.
Well, he's like a. It's basically set in a world where they're like. It's basically the human world, I guess, but it's like half cartoon, so it's like Hollywood and all that stuff, and it has like TV shows and movies, and it's sort of like a normal like adult world with like alcohol and parties and whatnot. But then it's also just like happens to be some of them are animals, and it's sort of like a cartoon thing. But then he used to be a famous actor. The theme song of the show, back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show. I did that really well.
That was brilliant.
Thank you. So he used to be in a famous show.
That was a goosebumps moment just then.
And then he's fallen off, and he's had like kind of a failed acting career, and now he's sort of like middle aged, doesn't really know what he's doing. He's like alcoholic. He has this guy living on his couch, and it's basically just him trying to figure out his life, and like he also has horrible like childhood trauma, and there are a bunch of characters around him who have their own things going on, and it's not like. It's not like a sort of cliche thing of like, I'm sad and alcoholic, and this person had a tough childhood. Like it deals with it in such a crazily like nuanced way for a show about like animate, which also is a super ridiculous, silly animated show about like horses and butterflies and cats and shit, just like going around doing like Hollywood stuff. And it's like a Hollywood parody of a bunch of Hollywood tropes as well. And it's just, yeah, it's the most absurd thing where I'm like, how could you even like, how would you pitch this to someone if you were making it? But it's pulled off perfectly.
The pitch to the production team must have been like, what are you on about here?
Yeah.
So I want to make a horse that's middle-aged and alcoholic in a world of butterflies, and he wears a suit.
And he's sad.
But we also deal with some serious themes.
Yeah. Like some of the funniest TV I've ever seen, and yeah, I will never forget ever, the second to last episode is maybe the best episode of TV I've ever seen. It's like, I won't spoil it, but it deals with the idea of death in like a really, it's called The View from Halfway Down, and it's like the idea of like kind of death and suicide and what your life means, and it's fucking like harrowing, and like it's still funny, but it's like, yeah, I remember, I think
when Bojack kills himself, I laughed.
But like, it still has like the style of the show, but it's like, I just remember after that episode, I literally just sat there and I know you'll make fun of me for this, but like I genuinely just started crying because it was like fucking, and like I know other people who've had the exact same reaction where it's just like so heavy, and it's, yeah. So anyway, BoJack Horseman,
it's
fucking great.
The way like the illustrations of it and what you're talking about, it just sounds like probably the worst acid trip. Like that's like, I've never done it, and I never will. But if I ever were to do acid and have a bad trip, like a depressed BoJack Horseman is definitely what I think it would be like.
I think I actually know someone who's, I mean, don't do drugs,
I think I actually
kids.
do acid often.
I have not either, and I don't do drugs. But I think I actually know someone who did...
Said like the most guilty man ever.
I have not. But
I don't do drugs. I didn't fucking do it.
But I think I know someone who has watched BoJack Horseman while on various things, and I think they said they enjoyed it, so I don't know. Anyway, moving on from all my drug friends. Mom, I promise I haven't.
Mom, as Walter said, this is not meth, okay?
Yeah, I'd like to be clear, I don't know anyone who's done meth. That's a little bit extreme. But yeah, so there you go. That's me.
I'm sitting here, and I'm Beardle Hudson. I'm sitting here debating, do I hit some anime shows?
Yeah, it's your favorite shows. I'll allow it on this one.
Thank you.
As if I don't allow it on all the others. You just throw it in there anyway, you motherfucker.
Fucking bastard. Well, let's see here. I think I will have to go with one of my favorite shows of all time. Death Note. It is so good. God, just and again, there's a lot of anime. Again, Death Note was one of my first ones. I didn't actually know this as a whole. I didn't have that much like contextualization with it, but a lot of anime are very like over the top, shiny, like laser beams, bubbles, kind of thing. Whereas Death Note is so like, it is by far the most cleverly written anime, and if not show I've ever watched. It's so good.
Damn,
like
claim.
It is like, I'd say that towards the end it's still very good, but like it's not as great as the first like 20 episodes or so. But the first 20 to 25 episodes, the most like intense anime / show I've ever seen. It is insane. Like the back and forth, like the cat and mouse game that is between the main character and the guy trying to stop him. So good. And just like, you also see how, like, you already know that the main character is a little bit psychotic, but you kind of see him become more and more psychotic, and more like he gets more of a god complex throughout the show. And yeah, like obviously without spoiling too much, but it's basically like he gets this Death Note from the Shinigami realm. I've talked about it a bunch before, but like
I've seen the first like 5 episodes, to be clear.
I'd like it to be known, I'm a huge Death Note fan.
I know the Shinigami.
I know the shit in my pants gami. But yeah, so like he gets that, and the detective L tries to stop him.
Does he
he does not take any L's. As yeah,
big opportunity there.
And yeah, just as I said, the cat and mouse game between the two of them is so well written, and like how they like explain their strategies and just the action that follows as well is crazy. And there's some like genuinely just evil moments. So do you mind if I spoil one thing? I know you're a huge fan.
I'll allow it.
So basically, he kills this one FBI agent because he's like on his trail, and then the FBI agent's got a fiance who like used to be an FBI agent, but she was like she used like rogue methods, and she was a bit of like a wild card, so they dismissed her. But then she sets out to find out who Kira, who's like the god who's killing people, is. And then Light finds her and pretends to be like helping her in the investigation of her fiance. Like they build like a rapport. He's like, "You're so like kind and good." And then he's like, "I'm gonna need your ID. We'll get you onto a task force." She hands him the ID, and then he writes her name in the death note. And then she looks at him like, "Why are you writing my name on that piece of paper?" And he goes, "Because I'm Kira." And then like you see it like dawn on her face. But then he wrote that she had to like, so basically like in the death note you can write ways in which people have to kill themselves. And he basically said that you're gonna forget that I was ever Kira, and you're gonna commit suicide in a place that no one will ever find your body. So she basically realizes that she's talking to her fiance's killer, and then can't do anything about it and has to go off herself.
Wow, that's a lot.
I'm gonna go back to Bojack. Seems cheery compared to it.
Yeah, that's a bit much, you know. Damn, I didn't know it got sort of that intense. But anime does
it gets
pretty
gruesome.
Pretty gruesome sometimes, doesn't it? I'm gonna go with one that is a bit recent and has only had one season and is coming back later. But I would put it up there with some of the best TV I've watched, especially recently. I mean, also, can we just say we should have said this? Yeah, we should have said this at the start. I'm not a huge TV guy. Like, I'm more of a movie guy. So, like, I haven't seen a lot of a ton of stuff, and especially lately, like the past 5 to 6 years is only really when I've started like watching TV. So that's why a lot of these are more recent. But I would say the first season of Invincible was fucking awesome. Really, really good. You watched it, right?
I have watched it.
Yeah.
Controversial take. I thought it was overrated.
You thought it was
like it was good.
Invincible?
I thought it was I thought it was good, but like I don't know, it was slightly overrated. It was trying a little bit too hard, I thought.
Let's fight to the death. I'd write you in the death note, and I would write as the method for you to be invincible in front of a train or something. I don't know. I was trying to think of an Invincible themed one.
I see. Well, I would write Bojack Horseman. Yeah.
The true end of the pod. Genuine shock
Bojack.
and awe.
He's got such balls.
I don't know. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was, especially with time, like as I've thought more about it, like as time has passed and I'm really like waiting for season 2, I've just remembered like, I don't know. I thought it was an excellent version of that. We've gotten so many like what if Superman but evil lately, and I feel like it was probably the best version of that, because it also tied it into his like family dynamic with Mark, I think the kid's name was, and like it explores all that kind of stuff that could be seen as cliche superhero stuff, but I felt like it did it in a fun way that was still interesting, like finding out you're a superhero, getting your superpowers, and then it deals with like his dad's not so good ways, we could put it, and we could
say not admirable ways of killing people.
And like the super, I know the violence probably turns some people away from it, but like, I don't know, it was fucking intense. It was, as an anime fan, I'm sure you could appreciate a bit of that crazy, and especially in the finale, it really serves a purpose, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it always served a purpose to show like how brutal the dad is and that world is, and it adds stakes. But yeah, in that finale, when like, because he can't really hurt Mark as much as he can, like the whole train scene is obviously one of like the craziest fucking darkest moments in a show I've seen in a long time. But I thought the animation was fun too. I mean, I know it was like a little cheap looking sometimes, but I thought like it reminded me a little bit of like a Justice League style, and I enjoy it. Sort of helped that parody of superhero aspect of it. I don't know. I thought it was fantastic. Also, one of the best theme songs, or like main themes for a hero I've heard in a while.
I don't remember it. But
okay, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah.
No, go on. It sounded so good.
Bum bum bum.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I will say, you speak about the action. To me, I mean, the action's good, I guess, but like, you know, like you said about the gore and the gruesomeness, it reminded me a lot more of Rick and Morty than it would like an anime show.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Someone's an anime purist over here. Someone's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, I watch Rick and Morty. It's actually like really clever.
Yeah, you say Rick and Morty like it's a bad thing. I do like Rick and Morty, for the record. I probably wouldn't say it's one of my favorites.
Rick and Morty it's
pretty good.
No, but like it gives me that vibe where it's like they just like, you know, kill freaking alien insects and they pop their skulls and stuff like that. Like when he freaking pops the Flash's skull, you know, he like claps his head between. I was gonna say claps his cheek. No, he claps his
head between his cheeks. I think you mean to say.
when Omni-Man drop it / bust it.
Why did you say that like you're reading a report? When Omni-Man drop it / bust it.
When Omni-Man parked that Big Mac truck right in his little garage, I did not love it. I was like, this is very Rick and Morty-esque.
That was the worst thing you've ever said. Park that Big Mac truck. Anyway. Alright, fair. It's not for everyone, I guess.
Anyways, okay.
Alright, go ahead. You can hit one. I'll allow it.
Awkward silence.
Sorry, your connection disappeared, so I don't know what you said.
Anyways, I will move on and say.
Sorry. I'm just imagining you saying the Big Mac truck thing and then just complete silence on this end.
Edit that in. Anyways, I will have to say, one of the best shows with definitely the best theme song, Black Sails.
Yeah, no, you are a fan of the... I mean, you're a fan of a lot of the kind of historical, like, Vikings, Black Sails.
I do love myself some historical shows, yeah.
Yeah, but...
I mean, I don't know, there's this... I love pirates. As you know, I've been listening to the Pirate History podcast. I don't know if you do know, but I've been listening to a lot of the Pirate History podcast, and I've always just had a fascination of pirates, and seeing, like, a proper big-scale pirate show with good action, good acting as well, and just the set pieces and everything, just amazing. And the way they've done it is like, I feel like, obviously Pirates of the Caribbean, one of my favorite shows, but they obviously, again, not complaining, but they do make it slightly unrealistic with like the speed of the ship battles and, you know, everything. Whereas here, like it's a lot more realistic in like, oh yeah, we see a ship that's like multiple kilometers away, but fuck, we need to like absolutely get the fuck out of here. Like it feels like there's more real stakes, and obviously it's like based on real events and stuff like that. So like,
is it?
It should. I mean, it's like a lot of the characters are real, like Vane and like the main character, and then also Long John Silver aren't real, but the rest are, I think.
Would you say it's a less cartoony take on pirates than Pirates of the Caribbean, and in that way you appreciate it on like a different level?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, BHL Hudson. It is. It's What do you say?
I said it's what I do. I was hoping you would just...
Oh, I genuinely heard spread them.
I believe that's what the Flash said to Omni-Man in that scene.
Yo, Omni, before you kill me, can you spread them?
Can you park that Big Mac truck right in the center garage? Hope that gets taken out of context. Anyway.
Please make that into a GIF. Thank you.
Could that become a soundbite? Thank you.
Whoever's building my soundboard, make sure you get that on there.
What an awkward insertion that would be, just like a 10-second clip like the soundboard. Also, I fucking hate soundboards. Anyway, go on.
I know, you've told me that any podcast that's got a soundboard you loathe.
I mean, it's okay, that's not entirely accurate, but anyway. Black Sails,
amazing. And also a very sweet and wholesome ending. Not to spoil anything, but very sweet and wholesome.
suspicious. I wouldn't have expected that, but you know what?
I know.
I like it.
I mean, there's horrible death, but for certain characters, a very sweet death. I mean, very sweet ending.
A very sweet decapitation scene. It brought a smile to my face.
I sat there and I just, God, remind me of Omni-Man.
Also, by the way, should we do a separate episode for favorite like childhood TV shows? I know we kind of did a nostalgia episode.
I was about to say one, but I was like, maybe we should do childhood.
I think we saved that for its own episode
shows as well. Good.
Then okay. How many more do I have that I want to talk? I'll probably go 1, 2, 3 more. Let's say I got 3 more, and I can go through them relatively quickly.
All right, yeah, I got 1 or 2. So you hit it.
I'd say it'd be, especially with this being a superhero podcast, no, it's a movie and TV and nonsense podcast, but a lot of our stuff sometimes we cover superhero stuff, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Charlie Cox, Foggy Nelson, and the other one.
Foggy Nelson.
Daredevil. I'm kidding, it's Karen Page, respect her, queen. But Daredevil is an excellent show.
You sound like you don't respect her. I won't lie.
I do. She's genuinely a great character. Anyway, Daredevil, fantastic.
Never have I heard a man scramble so hard. I do believe she's my favorite character ever.
I would say probably the best superhero show I've ever seen.
I would have to agree, honestly. It is so good.
Yeah, and it's also, this is before they, bring it back on Disney Plus, but probably the most consistent, because a lot of superhero TV, even if it starts strong, there are like later seasons where it kind of drops off and it's like, this was better before. Daredevil, season 1's fantastic. Season 2 isn't as good, but it's still pretty great. And season 3 is probably the best season. So it's like,
so good.
You can watch it through. Yeah, there's a lot of, I think that's actually stopped me from like wanting to watch superhero TV shows with like friends or girlfriends or like family in the past, because it's like okay, we'll watch the first season and then and after that it's not really as good. This one, genuinely, you could, where it's like you can say it's going to be good all the way through.
Yeah,
fantastic action, super, like I'll never forget that fucking hallway fight in season 1, especially for that time in the MCU when everything, that was around like Ant-Man Age of Ultron. Where it felt like things were
the Ant-Man era, yeah.
Where it felt like things were becoming a little bit more samey, and then this just came out and it was like completely groundbreaking for the MCU with like how down to earth and gritty it was, and amazing performances, quite emotional moments, some fantastic villains, Kingpin, Fiskathan especially, but also shout out to Bullseye in season 3, another great villain.
Bullseye is very good. Poindexter. And also,
Poindexter.
I mean, I know he's not technically a villain, but the Punisher
castle
aspect of it. The castle. And his, like, I was considering putting his TV show up there as well. It's not quite as good as Daredevil's, I wouldn't say, but the spin-off show with him, also very, very good. Yeah,
I'd say he's probably a better character than his show is great. Although his show is pretty, it's probably the second best MCU show.
I'd definitely say it is.
Yeah, no, just, I don't know, and all through, like, it's dark, but not without hope. Like, that might be one thing that I like more about it than the Punisher, is that the Punisher is kind of like so dark and grim and he's like just murdering everyone. Like, this one still has like hopeful parts of it, and in season 3 especially, it has like a lot of like weirdly like cool moments that work really well, like that are like kind of uplifting. Even, and not even uplifting, but at the end, when spoilers, when he's yelling at Wilson Fisk and he's like, and he wins, you know what I mean? It's like you just feel good. You're like, fuck yeah, like it's emotional, and then you're just like, and he did it, he like at the end when they're like hanging out at the bar, and it's just like it's a good ending. And yeah, and one of my favorite performances in all the MCU, Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Agreed. Yeah, like I'll say, obviously, and that's not his fault, but like Daredevil is definitely not as good in like Defenders and stuff like that, but in his own show, just brilliant.
Yeah,
just so good. All right. Do you want to hit one more? Because I think I'll only go with one more after this. So you hit one, then I hit one, and then you hit your last one.
Okay, I'm one of them I might actually save for if we're doing a favorite childhood shows thing, because I was gonna go, but okay, I'll just mention Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I still think are great shows. I think
you should
probably go in the other one. Yeah, but still probably like top 3 favorite of all time for me personally. But the last one I'll go with, I guess, then will be one that for a while was my favorite, and I still love, even though I haven't watched for a long time, but I used to watch it just like I do New Girl now, religiously. The Office, we mentioned briefly before. We did a whole episode on that, so you can check that out as well, but I love the show, and I think it's like, it might be like better written than New Girl, at least early on, but it's just, it's a show that I have a lot of affection for. Again, I haven't watched it for a while. I think I may have ruined it for myself by watching it so many times, which may happen with New Girl,
Yeah.
who knows.
The thing is, I don't know if it will with New Girl, because it's a different vibe, but
That's
I
the
do
thing,
see
yeah.
like,
But yeah.
The Office is so good, but I will say one of the shows that I cried the most to.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of... It's the realistic approach, relatively realistic approach it takes to the sitcom vibe. Makes the emotional moments hit so much harder, especially early on, like Jim and Pam's whole thing. Michael leaving later on is incredible. Even the finale still is great. And, the last 2 seasons get a lot of flack. I think if they were, kind of like we said with Game of Thrones, if they were part of another TV show, they would be like, yeah, these are pretty good seasons, but because it's The Office, it's like, it's not as good. But it has like great character writing, and like just, I might actually start watching it again soon, because it's like, it is very fun. And I have so many good memories watching it with, with friends, with family. Jim Halpert, one of my favorite characters. The Jim Halpert hair analysis video weirdly has a lot of views. Just want to put that out there. Very strange. Why the fuck did that work? But Jim Halpert for a while was one of my favorite characters in anything. May or may not have had a slight man crush on John Krasinski.
Oh, you definitely had a slight man crush.
It is what it is. We don't have to get into that. I definitely didn't dress up as him for Halloween. Didn't style my hair and basically change my personality for a period of time. But yeah, no, it's hilarious. It's really well written. The improv is great. It's a fantastic cast. Steve Carell puts in one of the best performances like in TV history, and it's just a great ensemble and just fun vibes as well. Again, I like it probably like by the end of my life, which will hopefully be hundreds of thousands of years from now. I think it'll probably be like on the same level, like that and New Girl will be on the same level, just for different reasons. Because right now I'm kind of in a New Girl swing. But if you'd asked me 3 years ago, like The Office was like...
You've been saying that for the last 2 or 3 years.
That is a good
New
point.
Girl swing. So you might just be the New Girl swing.
Fuck! But
Shit.
Still, The Office, that's not to take anything away from The Office. It's still hilarious and emotional and just an amazing time.
Fair. Now, I will say, I could talk in length about Attack on Titan as well, because that is definitely one of my favorite shows, but I'll save that for whatever other episode it'll fit in. If we do an anime episode, which I think we might have to. But anyways.
We might.
Might have to. Anyways, my last show is, I guess you could also technically count it as a childhood show, but I've also watched it recently, and it hits just as hard. Merlin.
Yes.
One of the, again, just so much nostalgia for it, and like, again, it's not the actual quality of the show, like the CGI is horrendous sometimes, and it very much like follows a formula, but like it's the start of season 1, episode 1, and then the whole like character progression and everything that's happened until the end of season 5, and season 5 never in any movie or TV show have I cried so hard. It leaves me an emotional wreck every time I watch it. I've watched it like 3 times, I think, at the end, and it just hits so hard. Such a good show. Like, and the bromance and chemistry between Arthur and Merlin is just, it's exactly what you want any bro to be. You know, it's like
You want me to be your Merlin, is what you're saying.
You already are my Arthur. I'll be the Merlin.
No, I was about to get emotional here, but now I'm just upset.
I'm not Merlin. What? Arthur is a better fighter, though. In fairness,
Let's go.
I've watched so many compilations of just Arthur and Merlin being bros. It's like so good. And like the love between Gwen and Arthur as well. Also, it's so like sweet, and because it's also like slightly forbidden love, but then they do it anyways. It's like, it's just such an uplifting show as well whenever like it works out.
Huh. All right. Yeah. I remember the early days of the pod when you would mention Merlin very often, and it does. I've never seen a single thing from it, but it does sound like a good vibe. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like a fun.
It is a good vibe.
I love a buddy bro dynamic. Yeah, I will say, I'm a big proponent of we shouldn't make fun of people for crying in movies or shows, but I also want to say if we have made the Patriots Day trailer a running mockery of me. How has Merlin, the Merlin finale being your most like emotional moment alive, not become a running thing? I respect it, and I'm sure it's great, but also I feel like I need retribution here for years of torment.
This is petty. This is petty. You like the Patriots Day is straight up pathetic, but this is just petty.
It's based on a real life tragedy. What do you mean? Again, we've clarified that's not what the joke is about, but still, I'm pulling that card now. Even though that's not what it's about.
Genuine passion.
No, yeah, fair enough. No, I not fair enough on what you said, but fair enough on crying during the Merlin finale.
I don't find it that bad, but it was just funny in the moment, and that's become a running gag.
I know, yeah.
It's the same with Doug. Like, I don't actually see you as Doug, but now you are Doug, you know?
It's the same with you being, like, a good friend. Like, I don't actually see it, but we've talked about it so often now that I just have to, like...
That it just has to be true.
No, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Merlin, an FTK classic.
It is.
Well, those were our favorite television shows. Stay tuned for the worst TV shows, or our least favorite, which, I don't know, might be a little bit of a weird one, because I don't really watch shows I don't like, but we'll see. I'm sure you have a bunch.
But we'll figure it out.
And stay tuned for maybe our favorite childhood TV shows, which definitely will be different from the Jesus Christ, which definitely will be different from the nostalgia episode. We will figure that out. Maybe childhood movies as well. That would actually just be the same episode. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be the same. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Anyway, now it's time for...
the Cnews.
Now, to be clear, again, this was recorded on May 25th, so we don't have any up-to-date Cnews. This could be coming out like mid-July. So I say we just read a piece of Tom Cnews trivia and get really excited. Well, this one's about divorce, so we probably shouldn't read that one.
I see.
Let's see.
Tom Cruise divorce always gets me very excited.
Britannica. Nope, start the quiz. Tom Cruise quiz? Ah, fuck off. I don't want to do this.
Oh, you know what we haven't done in a while?
Hey, yo! Ooh, that could be a spicy summer pod. A little pre-recorded quiz app, question mark?
Might have to do it.
Hey, yo, might have to... How do we do that, though, virtually, is the question. I guess not. It's not that difficult, actually.
Nah, we'll figure it out.
All right, anyway, Tom Cruise fact. I mean, we've already done so many of these Tom Cruise facts ones that they're all...
We already know everything.
Okay, how many... What does this even mean? Okay, I was gonna...
Okay, how many... What?
I was gonna say, how many movies has Tom Cruise, like, have reached the box office, whatever, but it just says, when looking at adjusted domestic box office grosses, Tom Cruise has 27 movies that have reached that box office plateau. What plateau?
What does that mean?
Like, the plateau of making any money? I would hope there's more than 27 then. Alright, fuck it. Tom Cruise is the only actor to have worked with Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick. How exciting. Moving on.
That is some exciting Tom Cruise.
Next up, now we have the announcements and such, which either we will cut to right now if we can record them, bing bang boom, or otherwise we will get to them in the next non-pre-recorded pod, which hopefully will be next week, but also who knows, we're traveling men, it's the summer, I'm sorry.
We are traveling men.
Whenever the next one will be, though, we will have, just to be sure, the announcements and such will be done at some point. So if you send something in...
Yeah, fear not.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on bhlheadsandvids@gmail.com if you want to send something, by the way. So, thank you very much for listening. You can find me... thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did and you're listening on YouTube, drop a like, subscribe, hit that bell button, leave a comment down below on what you thought of this episode and what your favorite TV shows are, and tell your friends about the pod. Also, subscribe because we got some shorts coming up, and I mean, I can't speak for this because we're recording this early, but maybe some pod vids are in the works right now, and hopefully they'll be going up over the summer, so who knows. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where you can leave a 5-star rating. hit that follow button, leave a nice review. Again, tell your friends. Keep telling them until they hate you and block you, but actually don't do that. Just tell them until they listen. It'd be great.
And if the first one happens before, too bad.
It is what it is. You know, they weren't your friend to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
You can also find me on just terrible advice on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod. Wait, no, you can find me on TikTok, BHL Hudson, the letterbox at real BHL Hudson. Fuck, this outro is a mess. We need to reconfigure this. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
God, just genuine, just going down a slippery slope. Just fuck shit. You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DolSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgard. You can find me on Letterboxd at FTK_Thwilms. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming.
I'll never get over that. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Omni-Man, bust it.